From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
All right, finally Phoenix acted like Phoenix. 101 today. That's still not too bad. And they had rain. It's like, what? And then we're sitting not too far behind at 94, Dallas 95, San Antonio 96. It was a hot breadbasket is all I can say. Look how much colder it was to the north. That was highs today. Alaska was sitting in the 40s, but what's interesting is like Fairbanks still has 12 hours of daylight, so it hasn't gone dark, so to speak, on the folks up there, but it is starting to get colder. And then we go over to the Atlantic. It's crazy with so many things going on. Hurricane Fiona is just getting merged into a monster storm system across eastern Canada. Gaston is just pretty much to the northwest of England. And then we're talking about Hermine, which is just off the coast of Africa, and it's going to stay there. And now we have a new tropical storm we've been talking about for a while. That's Ian. And so a lot of action going on. Latest computer models that we call spaghetti track because it's all different computer models saying, hey, looks like it's going to hit portions of Cuba and then head on up into Florida. So tonight it has sustained winds at 40 miles an hour, giving us tropical storm status. 105-mile-per-hour winds now expected as it gets to near Cuba. That's up. And 115, which is expected to be maybe 115 to maybe 120 before it makes landfall. Be on the land near Orlando at northwest of Orlando. If you do have travel plans as we go on into Wednesday, watch out in Florida. Back in Oklahoma, we're just watching temperatures, upper 70s, low 80s as high school football ends tonight. We're looking at 80s and the upper 70s again across much of the area in the metro. We have some clouds. Clouds are going to be very interesting for tomorrow. Meantime, there's nothing interesting about ragweed. It's still hanging around. Then we're going to have to wait on about a month before we get a freeze in here. Meantime, tonight, bright lights of the big city looking pretty good, and it's still way warmer than normal. 10 o'clock at night, normal high should be 82. We're still at 84 at 10 at night. And there's quite a bit of moisture hanging around. Tomorrow, we have to go all the way down to Oxford, Mississippi for TU to play. It'll be in the upper 80s pretty much through the whole game since the game time's 3. Game time is 7 down for OU, 80s, and there could be a few sprinkles at tailgating, so don't be surprised on that. And we're talking about those clouds rolling across the area through the morning hours, and there could be a few sprinkles, and the sprinkles that are coming through, it's just going to be very light. Some of it won't even touch the ground, but there's probably about 30% of us that'll get maybe a raindrop on the forehead if you're outside. 10% of us might get enough to get the sidewalk wet and a little bit more, settle a little dust. That'll be during the day, but notice the temperatures. And then we will drop down where the rain could be a little bit heavier, could be in the 80s for a while, so it's wide range just depending upon where you are. By the time we get into Sunday, we're talking about temperatures in the 60s in the morning, pleasant gustier north winds moving in during the day. It's still going to be very warm, hot if you're on the south side, upper 80s to mid 90s. And then as we look at rainfall for the next 10 days, this is the newest data, and there is nothing sitting out there that's good. Only chance of sprinkles and showers tomorrow. Could be a rumble of thunder. That's about it. And as I look at the extended forecast, we're still dealing with problems of state fair is good, but it's still going to be warm. We're going to be in the 80s, maybe 90s. For a pretty good chunk of it. Race for the Cure tomorrow. Leanne will be up early and not too far from us right now, and it's going to be good. 70. Don't forget the Tulsa Greek Festival. That's going on still for Saturday. Great Greek food, so you can check that out as well. And then multiple fun events going on as well with Pioneer Day at both Cleveland and Skytook, and then also Fin and Feather down in Gore. Forecast looks like this. We're sitting at 70 as we look on into the morning hours. Not too shabby. And 92 by noontime with a chance of sprinkles or a few showers developing over the noon hour. So again, that's probably the only thing that's kind of like a little weird because it's awful warm, but there is a chance of heavy rain. I shouldn't say heavy rain. There's a chance of where it is the heaviest shower, we could get knocked back down in the 80s for a while. We've made a few adjustments on temperatures, but overall still cooler for much of next week. But then we get to the Tulsa State Fair time and it gets warmer or hotter, however you look at 90. I'm thinking it's 90 is no big deal anymore.